Ja.
Okay.
Jetzt ins Ätherische, ja? Wir gehen jetzt rein.
Ich weiß. Habe ich jetzt gesagt, hast du gesagt.
Jetzt in die Hypnose.
Yeah, what I see is like, I see her in this, you know, she's like spinning in some vortex. To me, it's a vortex of energies. And they're created by some tubulars, apparatus, whatever. It's just like a metallic box. It from far away it looks like an octopus, but it's just like a big metallic box with multiple tubes, and they're going like this. And at the opening of each tube is a vortex. Vortex is created, and I see that it approached her. And she was standing. It's like an opening of the fabric of reality. You know what I mean? That's what she meant by portal, because she's like standing in between two worlds. That's why she's so sensitive. And you know, she's like guarding this particular opening in between two worlds, because anybody she lets souls go. Souls look like humans, like they just lost their bodies. And she volunteered to do that. She's telling me, I volunteered because I want to help human souls to pass quickly. And because she created this welcoming electromagnetic field, they recognize her by that, because nobody should be welcoming people from the physical into the, you know, past. It's like there's this thing, there's like a loop or a hole, like when you dig a hole in the ground, that's how I see it. But it spreads, it goes down and spreads. But this is that force 4D. 4D can be compressed in our minds and can be expanded. That's what she's telling me. So with her mind, she compressed it and put it into little tiny, like when you open some folder with the sections, and she put it in the section she created for it. And now she connected like more like 5, 6D, and it's all like a tie-dye. It blends in, okay? All the dimensions are blended in, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 10, 11, 12, and forever, right? Because it's like the fabric of realities are all composed of those blended in vibrational fields that we call dimensions. And so she kind of sucked out one dimensional field, and she was standing. That's when the octopus came. By the way, the octopus also creates a screen. He screens himself, like si scherma. Um, you know, what's this English? Like, you know, when you put a screen, like a hologram, and you protect yourself, you hide yourself behind it. And he showed her some of her memories from her previous lives on Mars. That's why she remembered the DNA alterational labs where the mantis are right there. I see this one mantis. She's used this huge back, like, you know, from the back, the tail, whatever it's called, of his body, it sticks out, and he's green, and he's looking at me with his black eyes. I feel like he's in charge because he's the biggest, he's tallest. And what I see through those memories, because I'm in that moment when she saw it. That's how the octopus grabbed her. And now she's in a memory box. That's what she's saying. She's in a memory box where she's connected to all her lives, and primarily through her DNA. But the thing is, they plugged that hologram into her DNA and showing her continuously her lives. So in this life, to keep her busy, like So when she tries to go into the etheric level, she cannot go because she's distracted by the visions she's already having that are being passed through her head. If we go all the way back to Mars, she had like 8 kids. She was this, it's almost like she's baking bread from flowers. No, it's not bread. She collects the flowers. They're like 5 or 6 petal, round, white, with a yellow, just like the ones we saw. You know, there's the ones like I saw in session with James Rink, and then the ones that I see, other ones, the smaller ones, and they're round petals. And they're shorter, they're not as tall. And she collects them and molds them with her hands into this. It looks like mm, bread loaf, but it's not, because the little kids touch it with the hands and smell it, and it's like the connection to the soul of Mars. Like you absorb the knowledge and you absorb the energy and the wisdom of the planets. And it's on the table. It's right on. I want to say like it's a kitchen table. It's not a kitchen table. It's made out of thin crystalline kind of structure, very thin, but when I touch it, it doesn't cut me. Um, and that's what the kids do. I don't really see them eat. Like before, I never saw them eat. They drink nectar. She also makes nectar, but she comes up, she wakes up early. You know that they have the same sun kind of idea, except at that time they don't have the moon and they have 2 suns. One sun comes at night, it's more like dim, and another sun comes up during the day, which is really makes the planet hot and warm and all this, because it's always warm there, it's always tropical. And she collects, there's these flowers. Oh, they're transparent. They're shaped as those bells. And she has this big glass container and she
There is
pours them in.
tequila.
It's almost like a diluted maple syrup color, but it's like brighter yellow. And you can drink it, it's like juice. It's like transparent orange juice from flowers. They generate to feed. See, I talked to a flower like quickly through thought, and the flower said, we thank to people of Mars for treating the planet nicely, to be connected to plants and animals, and that's why we produce the nectar for them to drink and nourish themselves, because they need to nourish their cellular structure. She said, in our understanding, in the Earth's understanding, in the Mars understanding, they need to pour some energy, and nectar is energy, to reactivate the connection to the planetary systems around and to the planet itself. And that connection is fluent, and the fluency keeps the soul acting through the light body in a most efficient way, because there's no overlays like it is on Earth. It just the subconscious who is thinking telepathically, who is doing all this stuff and feeling. You just said the problem is your friend has the feelings that she used to have on Mars. And those people had feelings. They almost like they had the sixth feeling more than what we have. And that's why she feels and sees everything in physical life, because she's basically reliving her lives on Mars, and she's built into those memories through her DNA. Because DNA has this ability, it's like flowers connected like a chain. One flower opens, it has the memories of living on this particular planet, and you build yourself in like a bee. The flower closes, and you start watching and receiving every information through all your senses you have. It's like it gets downloaded into your physical mind. But then the problem is when you disconnect, it fades away like a dream. So when I'm right now on Mars, I'm connected. I have this warm, fuzzy feeling of everything's going in the most perfect way and everybody's happy, because my happiness depends on other birds, beings, animals, all the Martians together. If one of them is suffering, I would not be happy anymore, because we're all connected. And that's why also your friend might be deep down suffering, because a lot of those Martians were taken to Orion, Terra. There's one planet, let me read it. Sophocles. Sophocles 1 and 2. There's two satellites of Orion constellation. They're taken there too. And this is like the hottest prison, because those are where the most rebellion souls, and they need to be separated from mothers. At least on Terra, we find each other through their internet connections and through passageways of life. And we have micro antennas that are invisible inside every cell of our body that recognizes the person we've known from before. And those are completely disconnected from everybody on those two satellites. There's another planet, Saffron, Saphron. That one has multiple projections of it. When I look on this side, there's a lot of souls from Mars there too. And we're trying right now to create a circle of energy and hold and create holes like portals. And through those holes and portals, we have to assign a person or ask anybody to volunteer to hold it open for the souls to get through and go back to original self. And your friend was holding one of those vortices. It's like a vortex of energy that creates a portal. It's interesting how it closes. It doesn't close like a door, but it closes like a twist to twist. It can twist big, it can untwist and close the hole. So that's how it goes. I see her quietly, proudly walking out of that box. It looks like a box of screens of holograms. She walked out, and I'm holding her by hand. The reason why I'm smiling, because she's this like kind of short, bubbly woman. She's very good with kids. She's all about the family and the fun. And she has a lot of connections to stars. And she teaches her kids to go to stars. She takes them to stars sometimes. They create this glass type round capsule around themselves. Seen them before somewhere. But they create it with their minds. And they go inside. They sit on these chairs made out of transparent plasma-like thing. I don't know. It's when I sit on it, it feels like an inflatable, comfortable beach chair, one of those round inflatable ones. And she takes them to stars. She tells them which stars are dangerous to go to, which are friendly to us. She said that we all know that reptilians, Greys are working with mantis people, beings. There's also mantis people because they connected to DNAs of a tall Greys, Zeta Greys, and mantis. Because I see a person, and I think these people mask themselves in between us too a lot. Some countries more, some countries less. Depends on the country's vibration. They can mask in because they have almost human face except for the skin color. But there's a bleaching technologies with the ultraviolet light that they can apply, and they can change the color. They can make it tan, they can make it more white if they turn the light to yellow blue, something like interesting color. Okay, let me disconnect from this now. It's getting very heavy there. And I look at those. So what she has to do, she can just create. I'm telling her that she can create a golden sphere that would hold the portal. She can create with her mind a technology that would act as her, and it would show her subconscious from far away. She shouldn't be standing there like she's been doing it. Can show her subconscious from far away that, oh, souls are coming who lost their bodies and they're looking for escape. So, and then she would open the portal and convey. All she has to do is to send a ray of information from her. It's like a third, it's like this. It goes like shh. This is all your third eye, and it goes like this from here, right, to them, and they will understand because they will see the portal open. They feel the high vibrations of the portal. You just have to let them know that there's technologies to mimic the high vibrational frequencies also. So they have to be even careful with this one. Don't trust anybody or anything. Feel your way through. And there's a system here. If you come in a bunch, not by yourself, you can zoom in and out quickly. And the person can still stand behind and wait for you. Or if you're by yourself, you can create your own portal close to this one. So you're not risking anything in case it's a fake one. You don't need to use others' portals. That's the thing. It's Marian telling me that, and I agree. It's a fake perception that you have to hold the portal open and stand there. Is this why you're vulnerable? That's how you got into that holographic room that they put you in. But now you just disconnect. I see, okay, Marin, I see your friend. First of all, she got herself out of this hologram, and then she's just standing, and she's like doing this. Energetically, she's cleansing herself by touching herself body and just like it was a brush with her hand.
Pulse.
That's something she can do in this life too, because she's showing me if she brushes off the dust from her legs and her arms, it makes her feel better. It makes her feel like she disconnected. And the thing is, you were right about the Mars. We knew each other on Mars. It just we're doing different things according to our interests and desires to experience different things. So, but I see myself coming to her for that nectar because I feel like I just got back from some travel from some other universe, and I wanted to reconnect to that planet again, to Mars. Something about the water in you from the flowers makes you fluently connected to everything. It's like a big natural neural link system of the planet's soul that connects all beings that are present, also protects us. But the problem is, I see like there was like some energetic hole in the planet made in Mars before reptilians were able to attack, and otherwise they would have not attacked. They would have tried to continue working through groups of people in different countries. So, but that's exactly what they're doing on Terra now, on Earth. They're using people against people because they changed the DNA of one group of people, they made them aggressive, and those aggressive people go to fight with others, they attack others. Because the reason why they did that, because they couldn't really reach the center first to make that whole. To make you understand why they make the hole. It's like to make the planet energetically bleed. So it bleeds out of protection or something. That's what they did with Mars. And after that, the energy, the vibrational frequency felt so low that they were able to build a lot of their underground facilities. So on Mars, to create labs and all this, because the planet was bleeding energetically and couldn't protect itself anymore. By shaking them off, by creating earthquakes, by creating, anything. I mean, the planet can do anything to shake the non-welcomed visitors off. Which is happening now around the world and will be happening. There's all this earthquakes and the water spilling on the wide areas. So I see her clean. She's taken some like a whitish yellow cords, like bungee, like stretchable from her back. It's like it goes in one cord and then it spreads into lots of cords, and it kind of covers your energy bodies that were in a different, you know, that hologram had thick walls, and you can actually separate a subconscious which has 4 bodies. You can put each body in a different section of it, of the wall in the cube. So it's kind of like that. She's bringing them back. She's bringing them back. This thing about her, she's very sensitive because she was one of those, you know, watchers of the planet, Martians, because she would feel when somebody needs her help and she would go there. So she's very sensitive by her DNA, and she'll continue being sensitive. It's just that she has to understand that, program herself in a way with her mind that when she goes into a dream, even if she wakes up doesn't remember the dream, she goes into a dream and she should know that anything can be done without her physically or an energy body holding a portal open, guarding the portal. All this stuff is not needed. You just put a frequency band around portal of a high vibration, and none of the low vibrational beings like those mantis she saw would go through, or would come even close. So it's like extra protection for her, really, to do that. Yeah, I see you too, Marion, because you do have that bubble that you said you feel. It's just how I see it. It's like energy moving, and you're moving in that energy. It's pretty interesting. I see the sunlight. Yeah, that would be the best description. Because also it's constantly like changing in and out with different colors. It's pretty interesting. Looks beautiful. So
What is the connection with me and the Mars? Was I there as well?
I just saw a dolphin coming. Her and you and me were living on Mars. I'm trying to find you. I feel like you're a man. You're a man. She's a woman. You're a very tall, thin looking man. You said that you escaped from the, oh, there was some holographic reality, like a different world that replicated. It was a replica of the Earth. And you said when the worlds were connected and then they got split up, in that splitting up, you jumped into Mars, which saved your life. And then you started educating others about, you're more like a scientist. You're more like you want to know, you want to know a lot about the worlds,
Sauber.
information, beings, because I see you like talking to a lot of people. It's almost like you're interviewing them. What do you know? What do they remember? How can they access their memories of how Mars was attacked, how we were all fighting? And then it's kind of like in two projections, two lives blend in, and you become a warrior yourself. But you were not in direct contact warrior. You were more like what we call informational warrior. You were through educating and telling other beings like you on Mars that you should not accept technology put inside your bodies like Grey's advertise around this artificial universe, because they want every soul to become artificial. And don't do this to yourself, because there's no way around most of the times, because your consciousness will just stagnate. It will stay in the same level, and that's why you'll never figure out that you need to get rid of it to save yourself. So that's what you're saying. You know, I hear the name Krakus, Kracus. That's your name. I mean, I heard it a few times. Because I see kids call you that. They're older kids, but yeah. And you have a lot of things. You have some educational things. It's like you have the boards, but the board, if you put in front, becomes hologram, becomes like the whole sky becomes that board. It's hard to explain. It's almost like you understanding, and each board represents a different timeline. And you say, if we Martians behave this way, then here's what's going to happen. So the timelines and the outcomes of each you would present. A lot of times you would present it with your mind too, and it's like it's almost like what I cannot say that we're friends on Mars, but we know each other, because we both, you and me, go to get that nectar after traveling to your friend. She's into plants. In this life, she needs to be like bare feet on the grass and things like that. Touch plants, hug trees, all this, because she's very connected to a flora. Everything that is growing, flowers, grass, everything, trees. Like just like there, she was connected to. So I just see different things. I mean, it's amazing. I even see dolphins on Mars. There's a lot of water here. It's like, because the planet shifted during the wars, the water shifted, went into underground. They have some reservoirs filled with water, but it's no longer on top. I don't see it on the surface anymore. I see little streams on the other side, but not like it used to be before, like the oceans. Oh. You're holding hands with your friend. And then I just see the war starting. Let me look from a third person perspective, or I'm gonna go into the mode again. There's spears. There's golden, liquid gold, very hot spears that when they hit you, they burn hole in you and you die. That the reptilians used. They were shot from their spaceships. And also there is this round fiery balls too. With a lot of fire, I would say, because it's almost like dangerous in our perception. They just capture us in different times. I mean, I see like a big camp of Martians who are being captured, and then they divide them. They put them through machine. Okay, that machine at the airport, it reminds me that I almost feel like it's technology from Mars, because even though, so there's a platform, there's a stand, there's a thing on top, and as you walk through it, you're scanned instantly. Your DNA, everything's on the screen. Lives, how many, where, what's the strength of the soul, what's the weakness of the soul, so kind of characteristics, what it can be used for as a conclusion. And so we're all like sent to Earth. Others are sent to different. They needed more slaves in Orion, and so they send a lot of them there too. A couple thousand, it came to me, souls to Orion. That's just gonna be reptilian service personnel. They'll just give them bodies, and they're not even gonna get born. They're just gonna be born in the lab. I mean, the specifics of going to being sent to Earth, you're gonna be born through your mother, which makes it very stressful. So that going through your mother, it's like a portal of stress that gives all the beings who reside in fourth dimension and observers and blended into 3D, attached to the baby who is coming out. And that's what your friend always felt, 'cause she's sensitive. She felt that how crazy that was, that they took so many souls and they connected. So her mother's beings connected to her, and then the other beings also. She's canceling all of this. She's just telling me to look at the birth a woman on Mars goes through. And it's like in water. And they go like this. It's still a type of physical birth, but it's not really as physical as ours. I see the baby coming out perfectly clean. There's no blood, no mess, none of that. And the mother's happy. It's almost like she finally waited and waited, and the baby came, and she has no pain. She just has the happy feeling. And yeah. You're saying to me right now that we're gonna go back to Mars. Humanity wants to go back, even though people will have different ideas and agendas towards it. But once people start going to Mars with a shuttle, like they want to, they designed a shuttle already. It's already, I see it on the screen. It's flat. It's rectangular, flat. It has two sections, bottom and up.